Hey everybody, it's Mike from the HomeHappy team. We're here on the HomeHappy podcast and we've got a guest on board. So welcome Clink and Dallas, the usual crew, but I'm also bringing in Dan. So Dan, introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. Dan McDonald, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ownwell, and we work with mortgage and real estate professionals here in Canada to create empowering information for their clients.
Yeah, and I'll start from there. I mean, you go to your financial planner and you get a report that shows you how much your mutual funds have lost money, especially right now. But it tells you at least where you stand. And in the mortgage world, that really hasn't existed other than getting your once a year mortgage statement, which is completely out of date by the time you get it. And so it's always been something that as a broker, I wish we could have. And Dan was one of these people that saw the need, found it, and has created a solution. So many of our clients are now receiving this on a monthly basis, and it tells them about their current mortgage balance. It tells them about the current estimated value of their home, how much equity they've built up, and what they could potentially qualify for if they were to think about making a move. So I think it's great to have all of us here to talk to Dan about it, because I know from a realtor point of view, I shouldn't talk for you, but I'm sure you get asked a lot about what's my house worth, what's my house worth, and what we're trying to do is solve something that's always been there, to give people information. It doesn't mean it's absolutely 100%. I mean, the value of a property is what somebody's prepared to pay the seller. That's the end result. So nobody actually knows the exact number until you put it up for sale and Dallas makes a deal. So Dallas, do you want to say anything to start out with about that stuff?
Oh yeah, well basically when it comes to house sales, it all comes down to comparables, right? So the consumer now is pretty wise. So when they got a good agent working for them, they're going to be like, here are the apples to apples. This isn't an orange, right? So we always want to make sure we're comparing the same things. And at the end of the day, you're right. The market dictates what something's worth.
Yeah. So this digest isn't going to tell you 100% what your house is worth. However, it's going to give you a guideline and an area to kind of consider. And, you know, if you bought it 3 months ago, like, it's not going to tell you a ton, but if it's been 3 or 4, 10 years, that could be very interesting information, because BC assessment goes off of the current sales. This is a different data source. Maybe Dan, maybe you can speak to that a little bit. And
yeah. No, thanks for teeing that up. I mean, the home value estimates are such an interesting topic. Obviously, it's a number that Canadian homeowners care a lot about, and it generates a lot of interest and a lot of conversation. So how we think about it is exactly like Mike said. It should be, you know, a pretty good, like, directionally accurate guideline, but it's not meant to replace the expertise of a real estate professional that's going to be able to, you know, get you that comparative market analysis based on your neighborhood. But what we do is we work with a couple of third parties who specialize in creating these home price estimates for the Canadian market specifically. So you have a couple of different providers, and their coverage across the country varies. And so we use different ones based on different areas. And how they get that number is they work with you know, some proprietary data sources across the country, you know, to source that verified real estate sales data that they use to build their algorithms and, you know, their ability to predict based on certain factors, you know, roughly what might this property be worth.
so Clinka, on top of that, it also talks about what their current mortgage is, and talk about how accurate that is and what the issues can be.
Yeah, that's awesome. And people are constantly either moving or trying to make decisions. And I think if we can make them, if we can give them educational content or information that helps them have, make a good decision, an informative decision, at the end of the day, that's better for the client, right? So who we're looking after. And I think it's such a powerful tool. We get clients who respond, so they respond back to the emails and they get involved. And so I think it's a really powerful tool in many different ways, but giving the client more education and more information about their own piece of real estate is so powerful in the market that we're in. So
Great, well said. And you know, you have to start somewhere. Nothing is going to be absolutely 100% accurate. That's the funny part. I've had lots of comments like, my house isn't worth that much, or my house is worth more money, and you know, my mortgage is less, my mortgage is more. Well, we're not like plugged into your mortgage in terms of, we don't know when you make an extra payment or, you know, those sorts of things. We try to make it as accurate as possible from the details that we have or that you input. But from there, it's going to be based on, you know, a rough sort of guide, not, you know, oh, you made your payment biweekly that 6 months, but then you went back to monthly, and it's going to be like, that stuff is not going to be in there. But I think, Dallas, you have lots of clients, and they, you know, they're always wondering, what's my place worth? And, you know, there's no way this report's going to take into account that they have an orange carpet and some other weird things, right? And talk about that.
Yeah, we sold houses with raccoons in the roof, right? So those are things you'll never know. But it's just a good starting spot if you have a general idea of where the prices are. And also in this market, I know, well, basically everyone thinks their house is worth more than it is, right? So I'm kind of the rainmaker. I make people cry a little bit, but better than be on the market for a year and then crying, wondering why it didn't sell.
Yes, good point.
And you know what, you guys, I just want to mention something that I don't know if you've seen this yet, but this goes to the point that Mike and Dallas were mentioning. We actually recently introduced the ability for the homeowner to adjust their value directly within that report, because sometimes, you know, they may have made a recent renovation, which our estimate isn't going to know about, right? And so if they have a very clear idea of their home's value because maybe they recently met with their real estate professional, they can update it in their own well report to that updated value, and then subsequent months reports, as the market fluctuates, will adjust from that new updated value. And going back to Kalinka's point about how, well, or maybe it was Mike, we might not know about the recent prepayment that you made. In the very near future, homeowners will be able to edit that information directly themselves as well. Or perhaps they've had a change of job and their income has increased. Well, that's another thing that they'll be able to input to get the most accurate estimates possible.
Yeah, I love that you guys are constantly adding to it and adjusting and learning from input that people are giving you, and that makes it so much more useful. I believe every one of our clients from now on will be getting this report, and I can't get over how useful it is to have that information at your fingertips. And whatever you do, it doesn't even mean you have to do anything. You don't have to be selling or refinancing. It just means, wow, like, this is where we're at. This is good to know. Like, you know, we're in this position, and now it allows you to think about further planning and where you want to go. And that's the part I love about it. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're going to keep adding things to it and making it more interesting, but I just find it fascinating up until this point, Canadians never had any way to kind of know all this information without doing a heck of a lot of digging, and to have it at their fingertips every month is amazing. So thank you for doing what you're doing, Dan.
Oh, well, thanks for the compliment. And you know, you've been one of the early adopters, and you've had some really great ideas that we've been implementing too. One thing I wanted to share that might not be so obvious, this goes to that point of kind of transparency that you mentioned, Mike, is we've actually had a number of our mortgage broker customers tell us that in some cases, bad news, so perhaps a decline in home value or a tricky mortgage situation, has actually resulted in their ability to step in and help out a bit earlier than they otherwise would have been able to. Because as you said, like, you know, this combination of factors, the real estate values, you know, what's happened with rates, if the person was on a variable type of product, I might not know the impact until today. And so we've had a few of our brokers who've had some customers in tricky spots reach out because the client saw that, oh shoot, you know, this might be a difficult renewal, but they've been able to get in touch early and help them solve the problem. And then, you know, by the time that renewal has come along, they've been prepared and they've known their options and they've been able to get ahead of it.
So cool. So cool. Dallas, what else would you like to see if you could add things to this? Is there anything you can think of? Or
no, I was just thinking in my head, it's always the fear of the unknown, right? What keeps people up at night. So the more the knowledge they have, the easier the process is.
Yeah. No, I like that.
And to add to your point too, Dallas, sometimes even the possibility, right? People would never think that they could move or that the equity was that X amount. And so creating that possibility in their mind is a great thing for them to move forward or to make that move that they've been waiting and they had no idea it was possible for them. So
yeah, no, I love it. I don't have anything else. I think we weren't gonna drill too deep into this. I mean, we wanted to give people the idea about it, but not the nuts and bolts. So I think we'll leave it there. But thanks so much, Dan, for being on here. Really appreciate it, your time. I think it's an amazing product that you're producing, and I think it helps all of us. So thanks so much. And if you are watching this and you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you continue. We're very open to questions. If you want to make a question in the comment section, we're definitely interested. And from there, I think I'll say goodnight. So thanks, everybody.
All right, take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.